Good day, merry meet. My name is Glennis and I am the Witch of Whitetail Hollow. I want to warmly welcome you to my channel and I want to thank you so much for joining me. I so hope that everyone is doing happy. I hope everyone is healthy. I hope you are all staying and playing safe. I had an awesome weekend, as you can probably tell. Awesome weekend. I And the reason being, I was outside all weekend. We finally had a long expanse of sunny weather. It was breezy. It wasn't too hot. Uh, so for me, that's just, I have an itch here. I don't know why. It was just perfect for me. And I actually found that I stayed outside a little bit too long because after dinner last night and I looked in the mirror and I was just flushed. I was just absolutely, I don't know if I was sunburnt or windburnt or what, but now, oh my goodness, am I really suffering for it? But you know what? I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was so nice to get outside. I think I probably stayed outside 3/4 of the daylight that we had available. So that'll give you an idea of how much time I spent outside. Now, and actually got a lot of stuff done, so I'm happy about that. But I wanted to participate in a fun tag. I believe Indigo Moon uh, started this, and there goes my phone. And it's show me your mugs. Well, hey, the first one you see is here, and it has absolutely seen better days. Like I said, it was a long weekend, and I'm a little scruffy, but you guys are just going to have to forgive that. And it's still really early in the morning too. But other than this mug, I will absolutely show you one of my favorite mugs. And now, bear in mind, most of these mugs, and this is going to sound so awful, but most of these mugs are Goodwill finds. And there are reasons behind, as crazy as it sounds, there's reasons behind each and every one. Some of them are inherited. Some of these I have had since I was a very young teenager, 13-ish. So that's a really long time ago. But I want to start out with this one. And this is, of course, what I have my coffee in. And you guys know how I feel about my coffee. But and again, I found this at Goodwill. And I actually found a set of 4. And the reason I like it is because I'm not really quite sure if any of my other videos show where I actually chalk painted and stained my little dinette set, my dining room table. When I bought it, it was the ugliest, hideous, most looking thing. Someone had attempted to do chalk paint, a little bit of distressing, and a little bit of dry brushing, and it was just all shades of wrong. And so I actually, the entire tabletop, it's maple, the entire tabletop I stripped because I wanted to do the farmhouse stripes. So I finally got down to the maple and I stained it, and then I chalk painted around it and distressed it and dry brushed and glazed it. But this, not necessarily the colors, but the farmhouse stripe actually match. Oddly enough, match the table that I often work from and eat from. Right now, it's a workspace. I've got 2 monitors there, and just all kinds of keyboard and equipment, and that I can tell you is not going to move anytime soon. And until, things change and I'm working not necessarily from home, it's a big mess out there. So this is my calm and peace and quiet and solitude. But farmhouse stripe. My second one I want to share with you, and it's kind of witchy because you guys know my love of owls. And again, I found this at Goodwill. And although this is not exactly the colors that I ultimately will use in my cabin up at the Hollow, I couldn't leave him behind. I mean, I couldn't leave him behind. So, I mean, he was, cheap. I call them cheap and cheerful. And yeah, I just absolutely could not leave this little guy behind. So this is, often I'll have my tea because I like a very large mug of tea in the evening. Earl Grey, of course, if I can find it. And my second mug, I only have two of these. This is a soup mug. I mean, it's not a drinking mug, I guess. I mean, I guess you could drink from it, but it's meant for soup. And I have a set of two of these. And this was from my mom's house. And I was actually able, I got these after my mom passed, and we were emptying her house out. So I got a couple of these. I don't know where she got these. And honestly, I did not use this when I was a child. So again, it could have been a gift to her. I have no idea, but I have a couple of these, and again, I pick up something like this and I remember my mom. And set this aside. I've got all these all set here. I have this one. Now this is actually, there's no markings on it or anything, but this is, again, this is from when I was like 13 years old. My mom didn't allow us to drink coffee. Can you imagine? Why not? Anyway, but she would pour like a lot of milk and a little bit of coffee in it, just to kind of flavor it. And I just thought it was just the coolest thing. I was 12 or 13. And very often she would make hot cocoa for me in this, with a few marshmallows, of course. But yeah, I've had this since I was 12 or 13. And again, it's those 70s, 1970 really groovy, super cool colors. So, but yeah. It's just, just something very, very nice, very simple. It reminds me of when I was young. And I have another mug, although right now it's packed away. It was in my china cabinet and it's packed away. And it was a very small, it's a very small mug. And I'm sure some of you may have seen these in antique stores. Although, however, it was my mug when I was I must have been 5 or 6 or something. But it's a mug. It's like an animal mug, but on the inside of the mug, in the very bottom of the mug, is like a little porcelain figurine that they have glued to the bottom of the mug. So as a child, if you're drinking, your cocoa or your milk or juice or whatever, and you drink it, you're surprised at the bottom of the mug was a little animal. So, and of course, mine was a kitty. Of course it was. But and I wish I could share that with you, but again, it's packed away. And one day, it's gonna make its appearance because I'm really, really super ready to get some of my stuff out of storage. Another mug, of course, is one of these dollar store cheap things, but I like to use these if I'm having brunch or brunch with friends. If I want to make like a cappuccino or something with a little bit of whipped cream or something like that. It's very pretty. Stick a little bit of cinnamon stick in there, or you probably could use it for Bloody Mary. Anyway, but absolutely everyone needs a set of these. I also have, now again, this is a set. I think I have 6. Now I originally bought these 2 many years ago at Target. And I bought them because they absolutely stack perfectly. There's no wobbling, there's no chipping or anything like that. They just absolutely stack perfectly. And I only got 2. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to have more than 2? And unfortunately, I went back to Target. And again, this has been probably 10 or so years ago. And of course, they didn't carry it anymore. But on one of my Goodwill excursions, there was 4 more. So I'm like, yes, please. And I probably got them for way less than what I bought for these originally. But I have actually 2 of these hung up on one of my Barnwood signs in my kitchen now. And the rest are up in my cabinet. So I'm really happy to have additional set of these because I am absolutely, once I get to the Hollow, I am notorious for having people in for brunch or, a very, very nice dinner. I love to entertain. As introvert And as private as I am, I still like to entertain. I love to have company, and I love to welcome people into my home. So, and this, now when I originally moved back to the States from Canada, um, I bought a set of dishware, and this is Warren. Some of you guys, I don't know which way I'm going. Some of you guys may recognize the artwork. Yeah, this way. It's a Warren Kimball, and I have, you know, the smaller plates and the larger dinner plates that go along with this. So absolutely Warren Kimball. I love him. And I actually, since some of you may know, I spent a bit of time living in Canada, and that was quite the experience, but I saw this and I just had to get it. And this, and I'm hoping you guys can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but it says Canadian fast food. And thankfully, I have not had any issues with bears when I was in Canada. I saw a lot of bears. I mean, a lot of bears in Canada. It was a regular occurrence, but yes, Canadian fast food, and it was just funny. I had to have it. Um, and this, again, this is one of my Goodwill finds. Uh, and of course, you guys know Whitetail Hollow, although this is an elk. You just never know when I'm going to see an elk. But I think I found a set of either 4 or 6 of these. Unfortunately, there was no plates to match. And I'm just wildly attracted to the colors. It kind of reminds me of an old ironstone. So really, if I find the plates, I'll absolutely get them. These are from, and I'm reluctant to say any brand names, so maybe I shouldn't say their name. But anyway, I admired these in the store, and I wanted to get them, and I looked at the price and I said, no, no, I don't need the mugs that bad, or even the dishware that bad. But yeah, absolutely. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful mug. And last, but certainly not least, is my Scully. Now I have 2 of these, and I have actually one larger one that you guys have probably seen. I think it was on my Tipsy Witch video, and it's quite a bit larger. This probably will hold 1 beer. This will hold 1 beer, but the larger one will hold 2. I can absolutely guarantee you it will hold 2 beers. But yeah, my Scully, and my larger Scully Stein mug, whatever you want to call it, was actually a gift from an incredibly warm, wonderful person I consider a dear friend. But yeah, so it was gifted, but I have 2 smaller ones. So, and that's it for my mugs. That's absolutely it for my mugs. I wasn't going to drag out every single mug I have up there because, I mean, some of them, it's like, if they live, through the move, well, only one more move. But if they live through the move, then okay. If they don't, then it's not a crying shame, because probably half of them are from the dollar store. And I'm just oddly attracted to, I like that color blue. I'll get a couple of these or something like that. But maybe one day, I'll have the rest of my mugs out of storage. Some aren't mugs, they're teacups, and they came from the inn. And I actually kept a couple, and they're just beautiful. They're very delicate, very frail, and I'm hoping they're still in good shape. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up. If you want, make a comment below. You guys always know I love your feedback. I'm absolutely going to be doing another tag video today. I believe it's 20 questions. I have them here somewhere. The 20 questions, some of them are witchy, some of them are not. Some of them are quarantine and some are not. And it's a wonderful, wonderful tag. And I hope to, kind of expand on it in a little bit. But I hope you guys have a wonderfully awesome rest of the day. I want to thank you again for joining me. merry part, and I so hope to merry meet again. Goodbye, guys.